The ancient world is a treasure trove of mysteries, each one more intriguing than the last. From the pyramids of Giza to the stone ruins of Machu Picchu, these enigmatic sites tell us a story of human ambition, knowledge, and perhaps lost civilizations that were far more advanced than we've ever imagined. These monuments, so expertly crafted, raise questions that are often too complex to be answered by conventional archaeology. How did the Egyptians build the Great Pyramids with such precision, considering their primitive tools? What secrets lie behind the perfectly aligned stones of Machu Picchu, perched high in the Andes? And what about the ancient megalithic sites in Europe, such as Stonehenge? Could these structures be more than just remnants of their time? Could they be evidence of a lost advanced civilization? Let's begin by exploring the Great Pyramids of Giza. These towering structures have fascinated historians, scientists, and curious minds for centuries. Conventional history tells us that the pyramids were built around 4,500 years ago during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. The accepted theory is that slaves were used to transport and place the enormous stones, using ramps and basic tools. Yet this explanation seems to fall short when we look at the precision of the pyramids. The alignment of the pyramids is nearly perfect, with the Great Pyramid of Giza aligning almost perfectly with the cardinal points of the compass. The exact method by which these massive stones were moved and positioned is still unknown. The Great Pyramid of Giza is not only massive but also incredibly precise. Its base is level to within just a few centimeters, and its sides are aligned with the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, with an accuracy of less than 0.15 degrees. This level of precision is astonishing, especially considering the tools and technology available at the time. Modern engineers would struggle to achieve such accuracy without the use of advanced surveying equipment. The stones used in the construction of the pyramids are equally impressive. Each block weighs between 2.5 and 15 tons, and the pyramid contains over 2.3 million of these blocks. The sheer scale of the project raises questions about how the ancient Egyptians were able to quarry, transport, and position these stones with such precision. The conventional explanation involves the use of ramps, sledges, and levers, but even with these tools, the task would have been Herculean. Some researchers have suggested that the Egyptians may have had access to advanced technology or knowledge that we have since lost. The theory of ancient advanced technology, often linked to the idea of a lost civilization, posits that there may have been cultures that existed long before the Egyptians, possessing knowledge that was far beyond what we think was possible at the time. This theory is further bolstered by the discovery of other ancient structures around the world that exhibit similar levels of precision and alignment. Could these sites be remnants of a global civilization, one that existed thousands of years before recorded history? One of the most intriguing aspects of the pyramids is their alignment with celestial bodies. The three pyramids of Giza are arranged in a pattern that mirrors the stars in Orion's belt, suggesting that the ancient Egyptians had a sophisticated understanding of astronomy. This alignment is not coincidental. It is a deliberate design feature that reflects the Egyptians' belief in the connection between the heavens and the earth. But how did they achieve such precise alignment without the use of modern instruments? Others have proposed that the pyramids were not built by humans at all, but with the help of extraterrestrial beings. This theory, though controversial, has gained popularity among certain groups, especially after the discovery of other anomalous structures like the giant stones at Baalbek, Lebanon. These stones, some weighing hundreds of tons, seem to defy the capabilities of ancient builders. How could ancient people have moved and placed stones of such immense size and weight? Some proponents of the extraterrestrial theory suggest that these stone blocks could have been moved using advanced technologies, possibly even anti-gravity technology. While this remains a fringe theory, it does add an intriguing layer of complexity to the mystery of the pyramids. Mainstream archaeology, however, is more inclined to support the idea that the Egyptians achieved these feats through human ingenuity using ramps, levers, and simple tools. Some argue that the Egyptians were incredibly skilled craftsmen, capable of creating such precision with the tools they had available. And yet, despite these claims, the question remains: how did they achieve such advanced levels of engineering without the technology we take for granted today? Let's move from Egypt to South America, where the Incan city of Machu Picchu continues to defy explanation. This ancient site, hidden high in the Peruvian Andes, was abandoned long before the Spanish arrived in South America. Yet its construction remains one of the greatest feats of engineering from the ancient world. Built using massive stone blocks that fit together so perfectly that not even a blade of grass can slip between them, Machu Picchu's precision is astounding. How were these stones cut and placed with such accuracy, especially considering the location's rugged terrain? The stonework at Machu Picchu is some of the finest in the ancient world. The stones are cut with such precision that they fit together without the use of mortar. This technique, known as ashlar masonry, is incredibly difficult to achieve even with modern tools. The stones are not only perfectly fitted, but also interlocked in a way that makes the structures highly resistant to earthquakes. This level of engineering sophistication is remarkable, especially considering the remote location of the site. Mainstream historians suggest that Machu Picchu was a royal estate or religious center for the Inca emperor Pachacuti, built in the 15th century. But others believe that the city could be much older than the Incas. Some researchers have even suggested that Machu Picchu was built by an entirely different civilization, one that preceded the Incas. This theory posits that the Incas inherited advanced knowledge from a culture that existed long before them, a culture whose existence is largely forgotten. Could the knowledge of stone cutting, architecture, and astronomy that the Incas exhibited have been passed down from a much older civilization? Or did the Incas develop these techniques independently based on centuries of observation and trial and error? Adding to the mystery is the fact that many of the stone blocks at Machu Picchu are far larger than what the Incas were capable of cutting and transporting. Some of the stones are so large and heavy that it's hard to imagine how the Incas could have moved them up the mountainside. Theories range from the use of an unknown type of stone-cutting technique to the possibility of external assistance, whether from a lost civilization or even extraterrestrial sources. The idea that ancient cultures were more advanced than we currently believe is not confined to Egypt or Peru. Around the world, there are other sites that raise similar questions. Consider the megalithic stone structures in Europe, such as Stonehenge in England or the Karnak stones in France. These ancient monuments, which date back thousands of years, show an advanced understanding of astronomy, geometry, and engineering. The stones at Stonehenge are aligned with the solstices and equinoxes, suggesting that the builders had a sophisticated understanding of celestial movements. How could ancient peoples, with no access to modern tools or knowledge, have constructed such precise and intricate structures? Stonehenge is one of the most famous megalithic sites in the world, and its alignment with the solstices and equinoxes has long been a source of fascination. The monument's builders clearly had a deep understanding of the movements of the sun and moon, and they used this knowledge to create a structure that served as both a calendar and a ceremonial site. The precision with which the stones were placed suggests that the builders had access to advanced surveying techniques, but how they achieved this without modern tools remains a mystery. Some scholars argue that the builders of Stonehenge were simply very clever, using primitive tools to construct the monument. But others believe that the complexity of Stonehenge and its alignment with astronomical events points to a deeper knowledge. Could these ancient cultures have been more advanced than we think? Could they have been in touch with a lost civilization, one that had mastered the science of stoneworking, astronomy, and engineering? In fact, there are countless other sites around the world that show signs of ancient knowledge. The megalithic temples of Malta, the ancient city of Teotihuacan in Mexico, and the underwater structures off the coast of Japan all raise questions about the extent of ancient technological advancements. Were these sites created by ancient peoples with knowledge we can only dream of? Or were they the remnants of a long-lost civilization that existed long before the rise of the cultures we know today? As we delve deeper into these mysteries, we begin to see a pattern emerge. Many of the world's most famous ancient sites share certain characteristics: precise stone cutting, advanced engineering techniques, and alignments with celestial bodies. These traits suggest that the builders of these structures possessed knowledge that was far beyond what we associate with ancient civilizations. Whether it was knowledge passed down from a lost civilization or the result of independent discoveries, it is clear that the ancient world was not as simple as we once thought. And yet, despite the evidence, mainstream archaeology continues to resist the idea that ancient civilizations were more advanced than we give them credit for. Many scholars argue that the ancient people simply worked with the tools they had and used their observations of the natural world to develop their knowledge. But as we continue to uncover new evidence, it becomes increasingly difficult to ignore the possibility that there is more to the story than we have been told. Could there be a hidden history, one that has been lost to the sands of time? Could there have been civilizations that were so advanced that they left behind no trace except for their monuments? As we continue to explore these ancient mysteries, we may begin to uncover the truth about our distant past, a past that could change everything we thought we knew about human history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking content on mysteries, history, and the unknown. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.